If you were thinking Scream 6 was going to be a good movie, oh my goodness, you are so wrong. That movie sucks. It was the worst movie thus far. I mean, coming from Scream 5 and the previous Scream movies, this has to be the worst one by a landslide. I cannot fathom how bad the writing was and the story, the plot, everything about it was just awful. It was just awful. I mean, they brought back some heroic characters and nostalgic characters like Gale Weathers and Kirby, but that didn't hold it any bar high at all. It just didn't make you care. It's like you brought back nostalgic characters just for what? I mean, they really didn't have a huge role in this movie anyways, which was kind of odd. I mean, yes, they had some type of battles with Ghostface, but it wasn't really nothing top-notch at all. I mean, you've seen better top-notch fighting scenes with a bunch of NPCs in a video game. This is how bad it was. Now, part in the movie that it just didn't make any sense. They try to make it really fake deep, and yes, I will be spoiling it because this movie deserved to be spoiled. All right, so the two killers that they finally revealed are Ethan Landry and Quinn Bailey. Now, those two characters are not really important, but in some shape or form they make them important by trying to tally them up with something else. Now, here's the thing. Detective Bailey, who is actually the father of both Quinn Bailey and Ethan Landry, if you guys remember from Scream 5, one that trying to be Ghostface, and then Sam found out and she stabbed him to death. He is actually related to both Quinn Bailey and Ethan Landry. Richie is their sibling. Sam's ex-boyfriend that she had to kill off in the previous movie is actually related to the ones that are in this movie. I know, so stupid. It don't make sense. Detective Bailey, he pretty much run the whole Ghostface operation. As you can see in the trailer here, they show that he has a shrine, or a quote-unquote where they keep all the trophies from the previous victims over the years. The fighting scenes was mid, but there was one character in my opinion was my favorite, which was Chad. He was the one fighting. He the one was getting it in. I feel like Chad was the best. If you guys seen the movie, Chad was really the best one of the whole film as a whole. Had a lot of ground to pull. I mean, it's New York City. New York City is huge. There's so many ways to explore, so many locations they could have shot at, and I feel like it was so mid. It was so mid because the best scene was just the scene that we saw in the trailer, which was the subway scene, which I think that scene could have been more better because the subway is very scary in real life. If you guys ever been to New York City, the subway station is very scary on its own. But to have it in the film of that caliber and not utilize the surroundings of New York City from Times Square to Central Park, using the highways, so that would have been cool too. Like, there's so many different ways they could have done something. They could have went in Empire State Building. They could have used certain famous hotel spots. Like, the location of this film was just very lackluster. Jason in New York, you actually get to feel like he was in New York for once. Like, he was roaming around in Times Square and picking fights with people picking fights with him. It was a very great movie, and I feel like this movie could have captured something special, and it didn't. So it fell very short. And the whole battle between Gale Weathers and Ghostface, now that scene right there could have been iconic, but they did not capture that moment either. It just didn't make sense. I feel like the characters that have been in the movie for so long, aka the final girl, right, which is a stigma they put for the characters in horror movies, it's okay to get rid of them. We already have Sydney, who is still alive, of course, the legendary Sydney. You already have her still alive. It's time to get rid of other characters. We already got rid of Dewey, which is the cop that we all know and love. Now you guys have Kirby and Gale, Sam, and now Tara still alive. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, if you guys trying to see Scream, please do not. The movie sucks. It's not a great movie at all. The characters just wasn't it. This plot wasn't it whatsoever. Leave me know what you think in the comments below. If you have seen Scream 6, or if you think about seeing Scream 6, please don't. But if you are thinking about it, leave me know in the comments below. It's your boy iTzTane. Until next time, peace.